Hi, this is Yarn Journey. I'm going to make this little big daisy flower with 3 layers of petals using a macro lens to hopefully clear up some confusion on what to do, and I'll try to slow down and check the focus, not get too involved in making and not look over here. So this has 2 jelly bands for the top in the center, and I'm using the bright green. And then I've got 3 opaque bright green bands, one that's holding everything together, and one to gather for the calyx band, and then one for my bracelet. My bracelet's going to be this color. So, and then 3 bands each for these petals, so they go like this. And because they are opaque, if I stretch them out in different directions, they do stay and make a fuller looking flower. Okay. So let's see if this will help. And then to make the bracelet, I am going to have to stop the video and change the lens so that you can see more of the loom. Okay. So let's get started. Let's see if I bring it up here and focus a little bit. Okay, so the way I start is I put a jelly band on 6 pegs. And I cross this one over and this one over, always going from the same side of the pegs. And then I can just take both of these off, and my monitor's on the camera on the top of it, so I can't really, I have to turn my head to see it, so then I'm not doing anything here. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so they all cross in in the same order, with the one side on top and then underneath in the same order on each peg. So after that's done, I'm going to put my first layer of yellow down, because that's the color I want to see. I'm going to cross from here to here first, and here to here second. So I'm paying attention to where my red dot is, knowing that this is the corner that I started on. And then one in the middle. And if I do it this way, I know that this short one's going to be my bottom, and the one that's poking through the center that I can see is going to be this one, and I know that'll be my top layer, and this will be my middle layer. So it gives me an idea of where my layers are. You could do it just the opposite and put this one on the top, and then you peek in the back and try to find these other ones. So I do it this way because I know that it's hard to see, but knowing that this one is back and this one is front, then I know that this layer is the middle one. So I'm going to pull all my, when I pull out, I just know. Okay, so then I'm going to put on my next layer. And I'll push everything down a bit, because it does get kind of bulky in there. And then my third layer. Then I'm going to take my other jelly band. Is this staying in focus? So you can kind of see what they all are looking like. Okay. And then I'm going to take my next jelly band, because that's going to come on to the front. No, it's hard to believe it's on the front, but it is. Okay, so then I'm going to carefully, so everything stays on, do a fishtail over everything. And I do these first because if they get tight, they're hard to get off. And then this one, you have more room around here to pull them off. Am I still in focus? Try not to move my hand. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And it's pretty tight in there, so I don't do any rearranging or anything. Then I'll come down because I'm going to put another band at the top here. But I'm still going to leave a little bit of room at the bottom so I can put the first opaque green band on, which is the back band. And the one that I'm going to loop the stitches off on. Okay. Then I go in here, grab this, make sure I can see just the tip of my hook that's above these things. Grab everything with my thumb and wiggle it off. And then I can pull this one and put it over here. Does that make sense? I'm going to go in, grab this green one, and make sure I see the tip of this hook here, so that when I pull it off, that hook is not going to get caught on any of these bands here. And then I can push it down with my thumb and put it on. Okay, I'm going to do that on all of the remaining ones too. And this one's going to be a little harder here. And if you have to, you can get a smaller hook in here and move that band out of the way if it's, you know, gotten where you can't get under it. Make sure that other one band stays there. Okay, so that's one side done. So we'll go do the other side. Am I still in focus a bit? Okay, so then that's the hardest part of doing this flower. Okay, then I'm going to take a green band. That's my gathering band, or the calyx of the flower. Okay, and then these go off in order. Okay, so there we have it all. And this is what it looks like underneath. Guess I can bring it in and try to focus so you can see it. And yes, it looks really messy in there. So let's see, let's get right up in here. Best I can, I get my finger in here where I can see all the bands. Okay, let's see, it's going to be hard. Okay, yeah, I'm going to look for these two, the triple bands on these two stitches first, which are my backs. There we go. And I don't want to get the green, I just want to get those three underneath here and give it a little tug. Okay, give it a little tug. I know there's a lot of stress on that back band, but it's usually pretty good to be able to get in there. I don't have a red one, do I? No. I don't have a red one. Let me get that again. Okay, so look for them and make sure you get all the colors underneath your hook. See all the colors and then pull. So if you don't have them all, then you have to go over and then kind of find it in the back and push it on through. Okay, so we're just getting these started. We're going to pull them out more when it's off the hook, or off, I'm saying the wrong word, off the loom. So we're just getting them started so we don't lose anything. I'm pulling in the center a little bit too at the same time. Okay, turn it this way. Okay. There they all are. Okay. So then I can gather them up. So I'll put it back down and refocus here, which I believe is all the way down. Right about there. Okay. And then I'm just going to gather these up like this. I went from this side here, in case since I think I went out of frame. I went from this side to the center, and 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 then I can take this one up here to the center. Now I've got my other green band. I'm going to just hold it here. See, and you can see the flowers already in there. Can you see it? Let's see. See it in there? Okay. So I'm going to go right under here and grab this band. Pull it off. Okay. Let me see if... And then I just start pulling. This is that one. So then you can lay your loom right here, like you had it upside down, right? So we know this is our top, right? This is our back. Yep. And you can pull out your backs first, and you hold it. And you'll give it time to move in. Just give it some time. Do it slow so you don't break your bands. And then you can let them go. Okay, and then I know this is my middle layer. Okay, I'm going to just give it some time. Let go. This is our last layer. There's a little fly here. Probably looks really big under my little gnat. Okay, it's summertime. Okay, so now I've got all my pulled out, and I check to see if they look about the same. If I need to bring my centers in, because you want all your flowers to look similar, so you can just wiggle it. Okay, so that's how I make the flowers. Then what I do is I separate them. I pull the front ones up, and since that's the yellow, it's the one that's that'll stand out the most. That's why I put it on top too. And I make sure it goes straight, just for the look of the flower. Then I do the orange. Or the red. I usually probably do the back and pull it the opposite direction and off to one side. And I do it the same on all of them. I pull it back and off to one side. Just to kind of set it different. Because I don't, you know, it'd be alright if they were all going in at the exact same place, but it's kind of neat if they aren't. And then, of course, then the orange will go the opposite direction. when they're all done, then you can also then put them the way that they were, then grab them and pull them together, and then just kind of settle them in there. Okay. I hope that made it easier to understand these big flowers. I'm going to turn off the video camera. I'll show you how I loom these, how I'm going to loom these into a bracelet, and I have all the other ones done. So then, yeah, and then I still want to, I'll go through this flower 2 more times with different bands. Okay, all right. So I'm turning off right now. Hi, I'm back, and I'm going to just quickly try to loop up the bracelet, just to give you some pointers on that. I'm going to use double bands. It'll be a thicker band to support the bigger blooms, and I'm going to put these little buds in between on one of the bands, on the one closest to the flower. Well, on the closest to the flower that's on the opposite side. Let's put it that way. So I'm going to put my flower down, and it's going to be going towards the top. The top of my bracelet's going to be down there. Okay. And this will be my chain without a flower on it or a bud. And this will be the bud has to go on the other side. And I just got rid of all the other pegs. It's broken. Just to make this easier. I don't always think to do this, you know, get rid of the pegs that are in the way. Okay, so we're going to fast forward because that's one repeat. Okay, now for the last one is going to be the cap band, and I'm going to use a flower, and I'm going to double it up so that it has two in there too. So, and this flower won't go to one side or the other, it'll be in the middle, but I don't think it'll show that badly. So I'm going to put it down and then wrap these twice. Okay. That way I get 2 of them in the closing them off too. And then turn it around, and it's just a simple chain. Making sure you pull up 2 of them, and that I didn't put that one in the right place, but that's okay, it'll be fine. The rest of them are in the right place. Okay, so we'll fast forward. Okay, we're at the end, and you can see it's gotten really tight. It almost wants to take the pegs right off the bases. It's curving them. I'm going to take my in here and just pull it. It's going to come off really easy because it's just a chain. And the loom's probably really glad to get that off because it was really pulling it. Then, is it in focus? Yeah. Then get your fingers in all these 4 bands, well, 2 bands. Then what you can do is, before I do that, I'm going to make sure these double bands come to the top. Sorry I had to cough, so I had to turn off the video camera. So here's the double bands here. So first I'm going to pop this through what was on my fingers. Get them all out of there, and then I take these 2 double ones and pop it right on top. And there you have a join that you can't find. Okay, so those little buds barely show, but it just adds a little interest to it. So this is a summery. I just thought it'd be pretty, so I thought I'd try it. Okay, so all right, I'm going to do the fireworks the fireworks charm. I won't do the bracelet because it's just like this, alternating without any buds or anything in between. And so just remember to double loop your last charm so that your bracelet is more uniform, because I figured that out when I did this one and I didn't double it. And there's no, I'd have to loop a separate one through there, and I haven't done that yet. So so yeah, that's this. And let's go try a fireworks one, because someone asked, and it's pretty much this one with the 3 layers, but the bands are thicker. These are thinner bands than the jelly and the tie-dye and the glitter bands. Well, the glitter bands stretch out pretty thin, but the other 2 are pretty thick. So so let me go get those supplies, and I'll restart the video. Hi, I'm back to make what I call the fireworks band. I was just messing around, and I thought these looked like sparkler and 4th of July colors. So it's all jelly bands. I mean, the bead part of the charm is all jelly bands. There's no opaque bands. This red is also a red jelly. This is my tie-dye red and white. I really like those bands. And this is a round silicone glitter band in gold. So so it's made just exactly like these ones that we just finished, except that this one has the opaques back here, which are a little bit easier. They aren't quite as thick. So let's give this one a try and see how it does. Okay, and I've got the macro lens on, so hopefully I can stay in focus. It's hard because the window that I'm working in to move my hands around is really small to do this. Okay, so I'm going to put my first navy blue jelly on here, and I'm going to go on the left side of the peg and do my 2 corners like that, like I did before, and take this off and put those 2 and push it all the way down. So there's just a little bit at the bottom. Am I still in frame? Okay. Now I'm going to start putting my glitter bands on, because that's my first layer. And I'm going to put the first one here, and the second one here, just like I did before, because that's, you know, that's my habit. So if you have a different way of layering bands, and then do the way that's you're most comfortable with. Because if you change your habits, then you can mess up easier. And now my final layer is my red jellies. And then to cap it all off, I'm going to put another navy blue jelly. And that's going to be the front outside edge of my center. And then again, I'm going to find this bottom one and pull it slowly over the top. I hope that was in focus. If it wasn't, here, there's a second time that I get to try to have it in focus. And it should be able to come over all of these like that. See, this one got out of order, so before I put this other thing on, I'll put it back in order. This one got a little out of order too, didn't it? Okay. So now they're all back in order. Okay, so those are all done. I'm going to push it down so I have a little room at the top and a little room at the bottom. And put my back band on, which is also a navy blue jelly. Okay, and again I'm going to go underneath all of these, grab it, and see just the tip of my, okay, so I hope I showed you. So I've got, it's under here and I'm grabbing this bottom one that I just put on. I'm seeing the tip of my hook there, but I'm holding everything else on my hook because that gives me something, you know, something to press against. Because if I just have my fingers, it's pretty tight. Okay. Go under this. Grab this. Wiggle it over. There we go. Now I'll go get the 4 corners. And again, sometimes I might have to hold this down with my thumb, that bottom one, so I can get under all these and go get that one. Because once I'm under there, it doesn't matter where that other one goes, so you can let go of it. Again, do it slowly and carefully, and that makes a big difference. So the blue band is getting in the way. I just take my thumbnail and push it down so I can get under all these. Once I'm under them all, then you know you can let go and it's in there. Okay, and every now and then one of those will pop off and you have to push it back down in. Again, this one's a little in the way. Trying to get it and see my little hook there so I know that I'm not catching any of the other bands. Okay. I'm looking over at the monitor to see if I can kind of stay in focus. The window is so little, just keep in focus. Okay, so that's the hard part. Now, when I did this the last time, yeah. Now, if it's really getting tight, you can take this one over first and then gather everything onto one band. And that gives it a little bit more room in there. The bead is a little pointier looking in the back and not as round, but this is the way I made the other ones. I did these off both at the same time. So we'll do it again this way. But if you're having a lot of trouble, you could try that and see if that helps ease things so you have a little bit more room to pull. I still think it'll be tight in there. I don't think that your cut loops are going to pull out. But that would be the only consideration for not doing it, but I don't think they would pull out. Okay. And yes, it's thick and tight in there, and this is what it looks like, or should look like. You know, depending on the bands, if you're using different colors. And then I go and try to find all 3. Ah. See it? It's in there. It's almost there. See, I got it. See how I got all of them? But I don't have any blues. I just have the 3. And I'm going to pull up just a little bit. Get my finger in there. See how that red one, it kind of got in there down at the bottom, and then I still have to get the tie-dye one. Might have to wiggle my hook in to be able to get all of them. And you want to pull them all at the same time. You don't want to pull one and then another. Then they'll get stuck in stuff, and you won't be able to. They'll be harder to pull out evenly. And plus, by pulling all of them together, they kind of support each other, and they're less likely to break. Okay, so you have all of them, but no blue. Have all of them and no blue. Okay, when it looks kind of like this, and they're just all started, so it'll make it easier to find them when you go to pull them out all the way. Then again, let's see, that's what it looks like on the inside. I'm going to fold them up a little bit. Okay, so they're all in there, and your little flower is right. Your little sparklers are right in there. And it is tight. But there we go. Okay, and then let's try to refocus a little bit. And again, this is I know that this is my top, this is the middle one, and this is my bottom. And I usually do the bottoms first. I don't know why. And again, I just hold it. And you can kind of feel them go sometimes. Okay. And this is the middles. I think the trick is making sure you have all of them together, because they support each other. And just hold them. And the longer you hold them and push on them, the smaller you're going to get that center. So it just depends on how long you want to spend playing with them, and how big you want your the loops to be. Because obviously, if you stretch them out and they're held tighter in there, you're going to get a bigger loop. Especially with the opaque bands, because they can really stretch out. So again, if you want to, you can, it's not so imperative, you know, to, because we're going to cut these, so if you want them coming out at different angles and things, you can, but I don't think it's, you might want the reds or something to come out at, you know, pull each individual after they're cut to see, so that's what we can do. I probably would let this rest a little while to make sure that everything's bounced back to where it's going to be. But since this is just a demonstration one, try to get where I think I'm not going to pull it anymore. then I would just stretch it out a little bit and give it a clip. Okay, so I'm hoping that this tutorial will help make these better. I use iMovie when I download, to do these, and there may be something in the conversion because it looks really crystal clear to me on my monitor, and then it's not quite as clear. So if I'm a little out of focus, the YouTube video is very out of focus. I found out. So okay, so I'm going to stop the video, and then I'm going to do one of the little 6-petal flowers where they go over 3 pins because in case you want to make the littler ones, and yeah. So I'll do that in just a bit. Let me go get those supplies.